Have you ever given your whole heart to family, cooked for them, cared for them, cried silently for them, and still felt like a stranger in your own home? This is not just a story. It is a voice from every daughter-in-law who never asked for gold status or expensive gifts, just a place in their hearts. She didn't want to be treated like a guest. She only wished to be called daughter. If you have ever felt unwanted, unheard, or invisible in a family you gave your all to, this story will both break and heal you at the same time. My name is Evie. I'm 30 years old, living in New Jersey, USA. I come from a humble, loving family where kindness and respect meant everything. When I got married, I carried one small hope in my heart, not for gold or grand presents but for love. I dreamed of being seen and welcomed as a daughter, not just a daughter-in-law. I married a gentle man, Jacob, who promised me a life filled with care and warmth. But when I stepped into my new home, the reality was very different. Instead of the affection I had hoped for, I was met with cold silence and distance. Felt like a stranger, lost in a family that didn't truly want to see me. Life had a different path for me, one filled with quiet pain, loneliness, and a silent battle I never imagined. In the beginning, I smiled. Every morning, I woke up early to prepare breakfast, folded my mother-in-law's clothes, and lovingly called her Mom. I tried with all my heart to win her love, but she never smiled. Her words were like sharp knives, cutting, cold and painful, cutting and cold. Her eyes held no warmth. She never once spoke my name. She only called me daughter-in-law, as if I were a responsibility, not a person. I felt like an outsider, like I wasn't truly part of the family, like I didn't belong. Days passed, then months. Still, I was never enough for her. If I cooked a little extra, she said I was wasting food. If I wore even a little lipstick, she said I was trying to show off. No matter what I did, she always found fault. Nothing I did could make her happy. My husband, Jacob, would only say, "Please stay quiet." But silence is not the same as peace. Inside, I was screaming, but no one could hear me. I was completely alone, and I wasn't even allowed to cry. One evening in our New Jersey home, I cooked biryani, her favorite dish from back home. I waited for a meal. I waited like a child waits to hear their name called, but she pushed the plate away. "You can't even cook rice," she said. "What will your children learn from you?" I stayed silent. That night, I sat alone in my room, tears falling quietly. I held a towel tightly in my mouth so no one would hear. My tears were my only voice. Then came winter, long, cold. Everyone in the house fell sick. Coughs, fevers, weakness. But I stayed well. I moved from room to room with hot soup and medicine. I sat by my mother-in-law's bedside and wiped her forehead with a warm cloth. She looked at me but said nothing. Silence. Still, I remained by her side. On the fourth night, I sat next to her, holding her cold hand. She opened her eyes slowly and said in a soft voice, "Why do you still care? I haven't been kind." Her voice trembled. I looked at her tired face and said, "Because I didn't marry only your son. I married your entire family. All I ever wanted was to be your daughter." I saw something new in her. It was not hatred, pain. Suddenly, she began to cry. Her voice broke. "I lost my daughter in a car accident 5 years ago. She was my only child. And then I stopped feeling. When you came, I saw her face in you. And I became afraid. Afraid you would take her place. I pushed you away," she said. "I was afraid you'd take her place. So I pushed you away." I felt a chill in the air. My hands trembled. Still, I whispered softly. I never wanted to replace her. I only wanted to be loved. Two women, hurt, misunderstood, sat together in the quiet trying to understand each other. And from that night on, something slowly began to change. Not quickly, not loudly, but gently and truly. She began calling me by my name, Evie. Not daughter-in-law. She showed me her special recipes. On Sundays, she gently oiled my hair. We started sharing quiet cups of tea in the kitchen. Then one evening I saw her place a photo of me in the family frame. Tears filled my eyes. Not from sadness but from peace. Jacob noticed the change too. One night over dinner he smiled and said, I thought I lost my mother when my sister passed away. But now I see her again. Because of you, Evie. I looked at him, then at her. And for the first time in a long while my heart felt full. Not with pride but with calm. Sometimes love doesn't shout. It doesn't arrive in grand gestures. It comes quietly, softly, like spring returning after a long, cold winter. This story is true. It is my life. And maybe it's someone else's too. If you live in a home where love feels distant, please don't lose hope. Some hearts are shut not out of hate, but out of pain. Some people forget how to love because they're still hurting. But kindness, patience, gentle care, they can melt the ice. Even the coldest home can feel warm again. My mother once told me, daughter, always respect your elders, no matter what. One day they'll see your true heart, and those who once doubted you will wish they hadn't. To every daughter-in-law who feels ignored, rejected, or unwanted, please remember, your heart is not alone. You don't need to be perfect to deserve love. Sometimes love takes time. Sometimes it hides behind pain and fear. But your quiet strength, your silent tears, and your hope, they matter. You're not just a guest or a role to play. You are family. You deserve love. You belong. Love is not about replacing someone or proving yourself. It's about understanding, forgiving, opening hearts slowly but surely. So don't stop believing in yourself. In time, even the hardest hearts can soften. Even the deepest pain can begin to heal. And when you give love without expecting anything in return, you may find it given back to you in the most surprising, beautiful ways. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts. You never know who might need to hear it. Thank you for listening, not just with your ears but with your heart.